Hey guys, Matteo here. Welcome back to a new video. And today I wanted to talk about a topic that, I've been talking to other filmmakers in the US and pretty much in every other part of the world. Is the film industry in crisis right now? Is there a slowdown? Now, of course, this is a very complicated question, guys, and I don't probably have the answer. But I decided to take this article from the LA Times where it was actually mentioning a lot of stories from people in the big Hollywood production in LA complaining about a slowdown in terms of work. As you may know, there have been some strikes in the past year in Los Angeles and people thought that everything was going back to normal and people were gonna get busy, but this didn't really happen. But is this only a problem with the strikes? Is this only happening in LA? Now, for sure, there's gonna be people that are working and are super busy and people that are not busy at all. But I think the overall situation of the film industry in general is a little bit on a slowdown, this is for sure. Now, when it comes to big Hollywood movie, big LA production, streaming content like Netflix, Amazon, all this kind of stuff, I think the bubble burst a little bit. I think during COVID, there was a lot of demand and that demand is just not there right now. Now, are we in a very delicate situation in terms of economic? Yes. The cost of living is wild everywhere you look. So there is an inflation problem, that's for sure. I'm just looking at myself. During COVID, I had Amazon Prime, Apple TV, Netflix, Hulu, Disney, whatever. And it's been maybe a year that I cut them, pretty much all of them. And then if I find something interesting on Apple, I just have Apple and I cancel everything else. And then I just swap and switch between subscription because I don't feel I want to pay that much money for content that, to be honest, recently is not even that good. So the strikes, of course, had something to do in terms of like production. In fact, most of the TV show I'm watching now, they're from the UK and not from the US. Now, when is the last time you went to the theater? I don't know, but I've been hearing people say the theater are kind of empty recently, so maybe people just stopped going to the theater, not necessarily because of money, but maybe also because they watching content on different platforms, maybe at home, maybe on their phone or on an iPad or a computer. And there's definitely a problem where people are cutting costs, and not only people, also company, because of the higher interest rate, they're cutting budget quite a bit. For this one, I have some inside information from manager inside big brands, big luxury brand, that they told me that they cut the marketing budget in 2024. Borrowing money costs more, and one of the first thing in this uncertain period the company do is actually cutting marketing and advertising budget. That doesn't mean they're not shooting any more content, that just means they're not spending as much as before. Now, what about myself? Because some people ask me, did you notice a slowdown in your kind of work? And the answer is yes, I absolutely notice a slowdown, especially when it comes to medium-sized but decent budget corporate work and commercial. I'm seeing way less commercial, way more social media stuff. So a lot of vertical stuff. I don't have that client that's gonna give me $10,000 for a commercial. Now maybe I have 2-3 clients that are gonna give me $1,000 a month, and they want a consistency and they want quantity and they want to be in front of the people every single month. And I don't really blame them, to be honest, because I see it also on YouTube. Once you upload an amazing documentary, short doc, or commercial that you did, that video generally dies out in about 2 days. So I can understand a little bit companies that are tired of dropping all this money for one single video, where that video, because of the algorithm, because they don't really know how to promote it, is gonna die down very quickly. It's also very interesting for me because yes, I'm not gonna have that big budget anymore, but I'm having a bunch of retainers, so people that pay you every single month. Guys, we need to adapt because I think everything is changing. Just look around. People live on Instagram and TikTok. So I was supposed to do this job actually for a big fashion brand that mainly targeting young people. And when I saw the treatment, I was like, oh wow, it was all vertical stuff. Everything 10, 15 seconds for TikTok and Instagram, but it wasn't that typical fashion commercial that you used to see. Maybe like the perfume that I did is like a 30-second, 1 minute with a story. Like, no, it's just bam, 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 10-second. I mean, I don't really blame them because the younger generation had an attention span of like 10 seconds, 15 seconds. So it's not just about, oh, I'm doing social media stuff just because the algorithm want that. It's just their audience is changing. Younger generation guys, they grow up. So these 14, 15 years old, now they became a 20, 22 years old. And big brands, big companies, especially on the fashion side or you know, even like on the tech industry, they're targeting these people. Plus, you put in the combination, the AI thing, and you think what you can do already with like subtitles and translation, music, sound effects, and all this kind of stuff. I'm not saying we're not gonna shoot any more longer form content and branded content and a beautiful story with two great actors, but for now, it's changing. And if you don't adapt, you're not gonna survive. Another thing that could have happened, and we are talking more about commercial corporate video, stuff that I used to work on it. I think like agencies and companies realize that they don't have to drop $100,000 anymore in order to get something that looks really amazing. Technology got so good and these cameras get all so good that I think even agencies and brands are realizing that if you have a little bit of a eye and you're able to frame and you know what you're doing, you don't need to drop 200, 300, 400, even $70,000 anymore. You can get something amazing done with not that much. And actually, guys, when I was in the US, you can't even imagine the amount of money that I saw getting wasted by agency. And when I hear agency complaining about this budget being so low and wasting $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, I'm like, there's something profoundly wrong in this industry also. I mean, I get it, gear is expensive, our time, our expertise is expensive, but when you look at the budget and you have a 80% markup, something is screwed. Companies, they don't want to spend, they don't want to drop that much money anymore. They kind of realize it, like, you don't have to tell them, oh, but this camera is $50,000. I mean, this is not true anymore. You can shoot a Netflix show with a $2,000 camera. Okay, yeah, you're gonna need a crew, but when we talk about even an Arri Alexa, a $90,000 camera, you know, a few years ago, Arri was here and everybody was like down here, but now I think we're, okay, Arri is here, and maybe Sony and Blackmagic are here. I mean, there's not this disparity anymore. And this is why I always tell people, be careful dropping 50, 30, 60, $90,000 on a camera because someone on YouTube told you it's an amazing investment and you're gonna make your money back, because market is changing. There are Arri Alexa Mini packages in LA going for $190 a day. Alexa 35, the camera that everybody was like, oh, I'm gonna buy it and then I'm gonna rent it, I'm gonna pay it off in 3 months. On ShareGrid in LA, even the Alexa 35 is going for $500 a day, guys. And I know there's people that comment on my post saying, oh, but in Russia it's still going for 1,000 a day, in Italy it's still going for 700 a day. My main argument here is about the US, because maybe you don't know, but you go to LA, you go to New York, you go to big markets in the US, and there's literally kids walking around with an Alexa or a Red, you know, a $50,000 camera. Why? Because Americans use credit cards and payments, financing, to pay for literally everything. The reason why it costs a little bit more here to rent an Alexa is because only rental companies have it. Or maybe, yeah, maybe some big DP that has been working his entire life, he bought it and because he's always booked and he can charge the client and all this kind of stuff. But remember that in Europe, people usually buy what they can afford. So that's why you see such low prices in the US. And when you have low prices, it's because there's just more offer than demand. So the demand is just not there anymore. And I also wanted to take the chance for this video to answer a comment that I had on my YouTube channel about this guy that said, okay, what a young filmmaker should do if approaches this film world now, today. And I mean, I think that the rules are always the same. Don't buy something that you can't afford. So don't think that because you don't have that camera, you're not gonna be able to get some work, because that's not true. Find a niche. I think it's very important. So you can be focused on cars, on food, on wine, on watches, on whatever you want. Attend events. So in my case, I love to shoot wine and food. So what I do, I go to restaurant, I talk to the manager, I talk to people, I talk to the owner, we go out for lunch together, we become friends, we go out for happy hour, for dinner, and then if they need something, I'm not gonna be the one telling, hey, now can I make you a video? But you know, chances are they're gonna follow me on Instagram, they're gonna see what I posted, and if they like, they know what they can get. So what's next? What are we doing? Is that really the filmmaking world in crisis? I'm not sure about that, but for sure it's changing, and adapting is key. But also, guys, you need to change not only just, okay, yeah, I'm gonna start doing social media content, you need to change the mentality. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you notice also a change, and I'll see you the next one.